Hello and welcome to Roll for Topic. I'm Chris Salzman. You're about to listen to the Play a Dungeon portion of our Build a Dungeon, Play a Dungeon Spectacular. This was a lot of fun to do. If you want to, you can go back and listen to the previous episode where we actually brainstormed the dungeon. Or if you don't really care, you can just listen to this. It should just be a fun time listening to an actual play podcast with about 5 wonderful players. It was a lot of fun to do. We recorded this on Skype, so the sound quality is not as amazing as our other episodes, but I think it's totally fine. Just wanted to note that up front. But we are going to drop in to the action where all of the players are going to introduce themselves and the characters that they'll be playing. Have fun. So why don't we get started, Jess?
Hello, my name is Jess. It is delightful to be back with you guys again. I'm going to be playing a gnome wizard named Triss. I've played Triss in 1 or 2 other one-shots and really enjoy her, so we're going to let her try her hand at a dungeon and see how it goes.
Yeah, nice. Joel.
Hi, I am Joel. I'm playing Gemlin. He's a human rogue. He has not had any adventures yet, so he will, or at least none to speak of. So,
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do too.
that's great. Murph.
Hi, I'm Murph. I'm playing Carbuckety Deep Burrow, who is a halfling warlock, rolled up specially for this occasion, and chose that race and class combo because of a roll for topic conversation on most and least played class race combos. So this was on the least end.
Nice. Yeah. Tim.
Hi, I'm Tim. I am playing Charity Karuk, and she is the world's most trustworthy half-orc rogue you've ever met.
I feel like there's at least one lie in that statement. George.
Hi, I'm George. I'm playing Yin Pedor, who is a rock gnome barbarian. Just a little angry guy.
Little angry guy. Yeah. Did you decide? You were thinking about like carrying an axe. Did you decide to go with that?
He has several axes. He has 2 hand axes, which are very gnome size. He's got a great axe that he can barely swing, or a battle axe that he can barely swing, and a great axe that he absolutely cannot swing. So if he decides to go with the great axe, he has disadvantage.
Okay, that's great. Somebody tells me he's gonna go with that great axe as much as he can.
He's all anger and not necessarily strategy.
Okay. That's awesome. All right. Well, I think we're going to dive kind of straight into this here one shot because we're going to try to be mindful of the time. So if someone can remind me when we're like an hour in, I'm going to be watching the clock, but someone like say, hey, you only have half the time left. That'd be great. You all have just entered the library in Candlekeep. You're standing at the front door, just inside. It's just closed behind you, and inside of your head, you're all thinking about the thing that was told to you by the person who sent you here. His name is Namia, and Namia said to you, "You are to retrieve the writings of my master. A fool stole them from me and locked them away behind a warding spell and an illusory wall in the library. It only took me a lifetime, but I found a way past the illusion. The ward keeps me out. But you are to retrieve the writings, and I'll reward you handsomely. Do be quick, though. While the library staff will allow you to move freely in the library, they will be suspicious if you cannot be found after a few hours." What I would like to do is, so with that in your head, I want you to all tell me, we'll go around again, and I want you to tell me one thing that you did to prepare for this, with the knowledge that you're sort of like you're inside the library already, kind of starting your quest. So we'll go around in the reverse order this time. So I'm going to start with you, George. Gotcha. And I want you to tell me, what did Yin Pator do to prepare for this?
Oh, Yin Pator bought several books and got angry about them and threw them and chopped them and used them to start fires.
Okay.
Thinking that would help him in a library.
Yes. Got used to all the destruction it was going to cause. All right, Tim, what did Charity do to prepare for this?
Yeah, she doesn't have a lot of use for books, but she's quite adept at moving stealthily around the library. That's certainly within her wheelhouse. But one of the things she did do, she doesn't normally wear a cloak because she worries about it catching on things.
Mm-hmm.
But this time she did, just to kind of hide some of the extra swords, the swords that she has strapped on, just to kind of hide a little bit of what she's got going on.
Okay. Yeah. Murph.
So, Carbucky is quite excited to be going to the library and has filled his spare space in his pack with several blank notebooks and scrolls and whatnot, and totally just for taking notes while he's there. Research purposes.
Okay. Joel, what did Gemlin do?
Well, he's a student of history, and so this is actually quite an exciting quest for him. So he's been spending some time doing his own research on what he can find about the writings of Namia's master, to the extent that he can.
Okay. All right. That's actually good. Let's have this be our first roll of the evening, actually. So why don't you roll me a research check? So maybe an investigation check. So roll a d20 and then add your modifier. I don't have my GM screen handy, but
yeah, I've got. Well, let's see, 11 plus 2, so 13.
Okay. Yeah, with a 13, you have not been able to find anything in particular, which is a little odd. I think when you're looking around, you're actually remembering that Nemia had quite a few tattoos, really distinctive tattoos, all on his arms and actually up his neck and his face as well. So you probably started there with your research and were actually unable to find kind of anything that they meant.
All right.
Yep. All right, Jess, what did Triss do to prepare?
Triss has been doing a lot of studying lately. She's working on becoming a wizard as her second career.
Yeah.
So she really enjoys the library and has realized that her own local librarians really enjoy baked goods. So she's made a dozen chocolate chip cookies to bring with her to sweeten the deal with the librarians here.
Okay. All right. This is really good. So Triss is probably walking in with the cookies. Hopefully no one has tried to steal them, rogues.
Smacking wrists as she goes.
Smacking hands for the librarian. So you enter into the library. I think what you're looking at, there is a balcony that's sort of running along the top edge of a 40-foot tall ceilinged room. So it's a big, massive room. There's a balcony up there with it's kind of stacks of books all along the walls there. On the ground floor, though, where you're at, are many sort of long tables where people can sit and read and study, things like that. And there's probably a handful of patrons inside of here. And then there's also just sort of stacks of books along the outside edges. Let's see. I think, Triss, you would probably recognize, since you spent some time in libraries, you would recognize immediately that it's a little odd. The shelves are actually very closely aligned to each other. Like there's very little room in between them. And then up towards the front, excuse me, I guess towards the back, right. So you're, front door along the back wall there, you see that there is a large desk. It's a large octagonal desk. And then there's also a door sort of off in the far right corner. What would you like to do?
Does there seem to be anyone in charge who's checking library cards or verifying entrance or anything like that?
Yeah, you don't see anyone around here. Although I mean the big octagonal desk, that's sort of, you would guess that's where they would sit. Anything?
Okay. Well, I'm gonna shuffle that way and kind of slide my cookies up on top of the desk and over.
Yes.
And leave those up there for whoever might happen upon them, who is of the appropriate authority. And then I'm going to start just slowly kind of moseying my way around, checking out those shelves and seeing if anything catches my eye.
So one thing catches your eye, actually, as you are looking at those shelves. You see these small little portals open up, and this insect hand comes out holding a book and shelves it and then goes back through the portal and disappears. And you see this actually happen pretty rapidly as it's going. And then you look back to where you put the cookies, and two of those things kind of take them and pull them forward.
You're welcome.
As you say that, from out of nowhere blinks in a gigantic spider holding the cookies, and it starts to eat them.
Does it look pleased?
It looks extremely pleased.
Fantastic.
Yeah. It has a little lanyard on. It says the page on it. As you all are sort of like standing around, I guess looking around, you also see sort of these little blinks happening here and there as books are being shelved and taken off. What would you like to do?
Are there any human or humanoid patrons in this library? Anybody
Yeah. There's a handful. There's probably like I said, there's some long tables that people are reading books at. Or if you want to approach anyone.
Do they seem at all disturbed at all by these mechanical hands or the appearance of the spider or anything along those lines?
Oh no, not at all.
Yeah, I think we should go talk to I'd like to go talk to somebody who doesn't look too deep in thought, and ask them what they can tell me about this library.
Yeah, I think you could. What? Yeah.
Can you clarify one thing? Each one of us has been asked to come and retrieve this item. Have we been introduced to one another, or are we all five separate people knowing about the library?
That would be a trick. If we had more time, yes, that would be the answer. But no, you are an adventuring group that has been together. So you can assume that there is some amount of backstory that has led you all together to get this quest.
Okay.
At the same
Great.
time.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. I think, Joel, so you can, Gemlin can approach just like anyone who's sitting at a table, like, someone who's not quite totally lost in thought, because you wouldn't want to do that to them. And they can turn to you and say, what can I do for you?
Yeah, so tell me more about this library. What can you tell me about that spider that just took those cookies?
Like a little portal opens up between the two of you, and the spider's head comes out, and like one arm goes back through.
All right. Well,
the guy will answer you like, you have to be quiet. The page is very nice, but is very strict on the rules.
Okay. Is it okay if we whisper?
It was very okay if we whisper.
Okay. All right. Well, what can you tell me about the page?
About the page? I mean, it's rumored that no one has ever returned a book late. No one's exactly sure what would happen.
And what brought you to this library?
This is the best library in the area. All of the world's knowledge in one place.
What is it that you've been seeking today? What have you been looking for?
Just comic books.
Well, thank you.
This guy, he's not researching anything.
Oh, right.
Interesting. I think Tris, probably you're like looking at his stack and you're like there's magical books here. Like, why? Yeah.
Wasting his time.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for your time.
Yeah. Let's see. Yimpitor, what are you doing in here with this? There's all these books that you are mad at, I guess.
Well, Yimpitor is not a huge fan of magic, so all this the hands popping out of portals, he's like,
yeah,
looking around,
okay.
Like just it puts him on edge. He is not in his element in a library full of magic. The spider is probably the most reassuring thing, because he knows that he can smash a spider, or at least try to. He's got a strategy for that, but trying to find the magical ward in the magic library with all the magic portals has got him very on edge.
Okay. That's great. What about, let's see, yeah, what's Charity and Carbuckety? What are you two doing?
So Charity, this isn't her first adventuring trip. So she recognizes that wherever these writings are going to be stored, it's not going to be in this main room. So she is going to be taking her time, meandering around, and every time a patron looks at her, she's going to give him one of her warmest smiles, half-work smiles, and nod. Try to do the flirty thing without saying anything, but primarily she is walking the perimeter of the room and trying to notice if there are any exits that are not necessarily clearly marked. Right? She's looking for, is there anywhere that might be more interesting that isn't necessarily open to the public.
Okay, cool. All right, we'll come right back to that. What is Carbuckety doing?
So Carbuckety is going to get one of the little library step stools and haul it over to the big octagonal desk so you can see up over it, and ask, excuse me, could you point me to any books that have never been checked out by a patron? I'm very interested in making sure all the books get some attention, so I'd like to look at one nobody's ever looked at before.
Okay. Yeah. As you were saying that, the entire being of the page rematerializes behind the desk. And as much as a spider can look happy at a question that's been asked of it, it looks very happy about this. It will point up to the balcony, and there's kind of a far corner back in the balcony up above, and say up, nod. And actually open up a little portal too, and gesture for you right in front of you if you want to take it.
Okay. Yeah. Is it I can pass through the portal, or is
yeah, you can pass. You can see it's the portal gun from Portal. It looks like that. You can just see exactly where that spider was pointing.
Okay. Well,
if you want, there's also stairs, but
I'll give him a smile and a thumbs up silently, and step through the portal to get to the balcony.
Okay. Has Carbuckety ever gone through, ever blinked or gone through the the ethereal plane?
No.
Okay. It feels cold and hot at the same time, and then you are through. Just this brief moment of that. Yeah. So you were up in this section. I think it's a foreign language section in the library. Probably this is all the stuff from the far north of Candlekeep, right? This is a totally different language. You don't recognize it. None of your other party would recognize it. And there's a couple dusty books sort of down at the bottom of the shelf.
Okay. Oh. So yeah, conveniently due to communing with eldritch beings, I have the ability to read and comprehend any written language. So okay. I'll start browsing and see what strikes my interest. Okay.
All right. Yeah, you start browsing. Go ahead and make a check of some sort. I guess this would be probably investigation. Although you tell me, how do you want to be approaching this?
Yeah, investigation sounds about right.
Okay. So roll d20.
16.
Okay. Yeah, with the 16, you can find something that is very interesting to you. What would be interesting to Carbuckety?
I think so. If this is writings from foreign lands, I'd say mythology and whatever passes for study of heavenly or demonic beings in other cultures.
Okay. Yeah. You can find a book there that it looks very interesting. It's like a description of the pantheon that you've never seen before. As you're flipping through it, there's a lot of very interesting and new ideas in here that describe similar other religions that you've seen, but it's everything's shifted around just a little bit. Are you taking that book? What are you doing?
Well, I'm gonna tuck it under one arm and look around to see what my companions are doing before I settle on anything else. So.
Yeah, probably, let's see, directly below you, Tim, let's see, so Charity, right, has been looking, kind of going around the perimeter, looking for stuff. Do you know Thieves' Cant?
Of course.
Okay, yeah. As you are going around the perimeter, there's one door in the back there, and you actually see a little bit of Thieves' Cant sort of written on there. And Thieves' Cant, kind of like written very faintly next to the door, and it just says like a hallway of requirement.
Hallway of requirement. Excellent. Yeah, I am going to step over to Yinpator. Is that correct? Did I say that correctly? I don't really care if I said it correctly. I'm going to step over to Yinpator and say, hey, come with me. I think I found something interesting.
Yenpator then says very loudly in Gnomish to Triss, "Hey, come on, we're going this way."
I'll give him a nod and start kind of working my way over towards them. I'm looking for textbooks that I haven't been able to find yet, and I'm quite pleased. I've found several. So I've got one or two under my arms, and I kind of go shuffling after him.
Yeah, okay. I'll get books.
Gimlin notices though he did not get an explicit invite, he does notice the party going that direction. So he's gonna kind of meander over there because the conversation he's having is not going anywhere.
Yeah.
And I look, I'm like, oh, I guess everyone's coming. Okay, fine. It's a party.
Gimlin has probably had this experience before, right? Of like,
yes, he is very
guys, we got it. Like we're all together. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So are you going to enter that door, or are you going to wait for everybody?
Well, I was going to just grab my barbarian for backup and head in and check it out. But now that he's announced it to the entire the entire world that we're heading, I guess I will wait for the rest of the party since it looks like they're coming.
Okay.
So.
I'm literally like shouting across the library.
Yeah.
Hey! But in Gnomish because he's subtle.
Okay. I think you will also get like the spider, the page's face in your face, urging you to be quiet. Maybe with like 2 arms.
Oh yeah.
You've upgraded to 2 arms.
Yeah.
So Carbuckety, I guess from up above, you see like everybody congregating towards one spot.
He definitely hears it.
Yeah, he hears it, and he sees everybody sort of going like underneath the balcony where you're standing.
Assuming the portal's closed, I'll use the stairs to scurry back down and around with my book clutched under my arm.
Okay. Yeah, you can scurry back down. And true to the word of Nemia, the page does not seem to really care too much about what you're doing. You are patrons. You're a little noisy, but so be it. Grabbing some books off the shelves, there's nothing wrong with that. And you open that door to this hallway. And as you look down, this is just a hallway, and it looks like it just goes and sort of it dead ends into an open door that looks like it just has janitorial supplies down there. The hallway is probably 20 feet or so long as you're looking at it. And
this was labeled the hallway of requirement.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I assume, Charity, are you sharing this with everybody, or are you just pointing?
Yeah. As soon as Triss gets there, I do specifically say to her, there's some writings here. It says that it's the hallway of requirement. Sounds like it's in your kind of area of expertise if you want to see what you can do with that.
Yeah, I'm gonna kind of push my glasses a little further up my nose and kind of lean forward and take a look. Do I sense anything magical or see any magical runes kind of about this door that would indicate to me that it's perhaps more than it appears, or is it truly just janitorial?
The door in particular is just a door, but the rest of the hallway is quite magical.
I'm gonna kind of tap my nose and go, Charity, you're onto something. There's something magical here. I'm not certain I quite understand yet, but you've got a good eye for this. I'm going to take one step forward and see what happens.
Okay. You take one step forward, you cross the threshold, and nothing seems to happen. When Nemia gave you this quest, who among you is the sort of person that he would have taught like the magic spell to open the way? Yepitor, I think. Yeah.
Nope.
Well,
potentially me or Carbuckety, either. Maybe both of us.
Yeah. Probably both of you. Yeah. Yeah. So you both have sort of the key, as it were. And you like she said it's in the library. Or he said it's in the library somewhere. Yeah. And so this whole hallway, right, is just sort of magical. I think. Let's see. Joel, you know thieves can't as well too, right? Probably.
I assume that I do, yes.
Okay. Yeah, I think probably you and Charity, right? Like once it was pointed out to you, right, there was a little bit of that. I think you can see sort of written up and down the walls are like all sorts of little like signs written in thieves can't. They're like etched into the wall, like describing like items and like people's names listed alongside of it, and then also like warnings as well to you about about disturbing these places.
Yes.
Okay, so and how much of that thieves can't writing is there? Because I know it takes a little while to decipher, right?
Yeah.
The idea is that it's hidden in plain sight type.
Yes.
Type
Yeah. It's quite a bit actually. Right. It looks like this is somewhat of a dumping ground for various things throughout history and time. Some of this thieves cant is very old. Some of it is new. If any of you are sort of scholars of thieves cant, you would recognize different almost accents and things like that from it going back through time.
I'm going to turn to Gemlin and say, Gemlin, I think it's all right. Do you want to kind of come and take a look a little further and see if anything catches your eye?
Yeah, I think so. I don't see anything that makes me too nervous, so I'd be willing to walk in a little bit more, but our friends have our back, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
I
Well,
hope
okay.
so.
As long as they're looking out for us, I'd be willing to take a look.
Okay.
I do know.
As soon as Gimlin starts heading in, I do lean over to Trish and say, that was a really good idea. Send the old one in. If anything goes wrong, that was a really good idea.
He seems like the most malleable, you know?
Yeah. No, that's a good point.
Genpator's doing the gnome version of staring down everyone, so staring up everyone, I guess.
Okay.
Someone walking by and he's just looking up and just keep on walking.
Okay. You're like you're guarding the door up front. Yeah, I think most people are pretty unperturbed with you back here. Like, yeah, it seems a little odd for something so magical like that. You're probably a little surprised that people don't seem to care too much that you're back here. Like that this is a regular occurrence that people go back into this area.
Well, since I'm in here and working my thieves can't deciphering, I am something of a student of history, and I want to see, there's all kinds of eras represented here, it seems. I'd like to see if there's anything that might point me a little closer towards the writings of Nehemiah's master.
Yeah.
If there's
roll up her perception check and let's see what we can see.
Let's see.
And can any of us assist him? I mean, it sounds like
you have plenty of time. So if anyone wants to assist, and help and like do teamwork stuff, I'll say you can have advantage on that.
Yeah, I definitely want to assist you with that.
I have advantage on that?
Yeah, so you can roll twice.
That's good.
Okay.
So then I got a 22.
Okay, all right. Yeah, with a 22, as you're deciphering some of the thieves can't, I think probably Charity points, something out like as you're talking and looking at stuff. You see what looks like a description of a tattoo that you remember seeing on Nemia. Just something sort of matches up there. I think. I mean, you can point it out, and then as you're looking at it, you can actually start to follow the thieves' cant, and it looks like it's drawing sort of a path, almost like a doorway in the wall.
And so it looks like the path is guiding us in this very hallway that we're in to some direction.
Yep.
Where is it pointing us? Is it aiming towards the door, or is that unclear?
Yeah, it looks like, so this is probably about halfway down the hallway. as you're looking around like that, and it's just sort of on the right hand side.
So this is like an intersecting doorway coming off the side of the hall that's just
Yeah.
like drawn onto the wall, though.
Yeah. And again, like, right, if you didn't know what you were looking for, this is a really long hallway to the janitorial supplies.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that's interesting.
What would you like to do?
Does that door appear to have any way to open it? I'm not trying to open it yet. I'm just sort of examining it to get a little more idea of what I can see.
Nothing that you can see.
So, Triss, you seem to be able to detect magic. Is there anything in this door? Any way you can figure out how to maybe get it to unlock for us?
I didn't see anything. This door. Oh, that.
Or can we just
that
bust it
door.
down? Like,
Could I check to see if I can decipher anything about the magical quality of it that would lend me any info?
Yeah, I think like once they pointed it out to you, right? So you probably can't read the thieves' cant or really even like see it, but they've kind of drawn it for you. As you're then looking at it sort of with more of your magical eyes, you can see that there's some sort of spell on this part of the wall that seems to match a little bit with what you were taught by Nemia. So Carbuckety, right? Like if you were also to look at this, right? Like I think probably with your approach and her approach, you could see that. Yeah, this looks like this might be the location where the spell would break the ward.
Okay, yeah, I will share that and kind of be like, hey, I think we might be onto something over here. This looks like that tattoo he had on his neck, the one that was kind of by the mole. I think that this might be the passage we're looking for.
And Charity said I should smash the door.
I think we should keep that as a backup.
Yeah.
I'm ready.
I think you should be ready for it. You might want to take a couple practice swings in the air.
I'll step
with
back.
your big one.
Wise.
Yeah, Yimpitor does exactly that with the big one.
Okay, so now that we've identified this door, and it seems promising, would Carbuckety and I kind of have an innate sense of how to apply that knowledge that Nemia gave us about kind of moving forward? By looking at it, does the magic kind of indicate like a path forward?
Yeah, I think once you're looking at it and you're investigating it, some of the particulars of the spell that he taught you, snap into focus. Like, oh, I understand why he put this flourish on it. Like that. This is the example that he was trying to get after. So you feel very strongly that like if you were to cast that charm, that spell, and this location, that this is probably the door that you're looking for.
Mm-hmm. It's like a magical connect the dots where we carve the rune that he gave us on existing thieves' cant, and it fills in the void.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Are you going to do that, or are you going to do something else?
I kind of look at Carbuckety and I'm like, well, we found it. Let's give it a go.
That's what we're here for.
Yeah.
Okay. Who's casting? Who's doing it?
It's a team effort, right?
Okay.
What's that?
You're both going to do it?
Yeah, we'll both give it a go.
I'll do the inscribing part. She can do the chanting part.
Okay.
And...
Yeah, I think you take your time and you do it very well. You're quite the team. I think as you're casting this, there's like a kind of a faint glow, and then the bricks themselves sort of seem to just sort of disappear one by one as you're tracing past them, and it opens up, and there are there's some steps going down into the wall.
All right, who's first? It's not me.
Yimpitor, would you like to do the honors?
Yimpitor, I think, is for this party. They're pretty used to Yimpitor going first.
Yeah.
Gemlet has already slunk behind everybody because he saw how things went down the first time.
Okay. Yes, Yimpitor. I think as you go down, it's quite dark in here. It's quite dusty and musty as you're going down these steps. Who all has dark vision?
Yimpitor.
Carbuckety.
Okay.
Yes.
Gemlin cannot see. Yeah, down here. You'll need some sort of light source as you're going down. But yeah, you make it down. There's about 10 steps or so, and you make it into a large, like square room, probably 60 or so feet on either side. The ceiling is maybe 20 feet or so tall. Nothing too outstanding. And as you enter in there, it's quiet. And there's a door on the far end.
As we were going down the stairs, I'm going to turn and look behind me. Can I see out the passageway, or does it seem like it's resealed now that we've gone through it?
You can see through it, although it looks a little like hazy, almost like maybe it has resealed, but you like almost like a one-way mirror.
Oh, okay. Understood, yeah.
And while we're also
Is there
descending,
anything-
I lit a candle in a candle holder that I've got, so I can see a little bit around myself here.
Okay. Yeah, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think dark vision you can't see color with.
Shades
Is that
of gray.
correct? Okay. As that candle gets lit, you can actually see that there the walls themselves, like they look kind of like this flat gray, but there are like faded colors all in sort of the same kind of like value up and down. Like at one point, this was a very like ornately decorated hallway, and then as kind of the light comes in, you can see on the floor as well that there's like this mosaic tile all on the ground.
And Gemlin was busy studying the walls with the candle and did not actually get the message from the front of the party as to what kind of room they were entering. You can't really see, so could someone with dark vision, or maybe who knows what's going on, re-describe the room that we're in here?
It's like between 50 and 70 feet and square.
Right.
It's
And when we get down
it's
to
probably
this room,
like 5 gnomes tall.
5 gnomes tall. All right.
so when we get down to this room, this large room, is it just empty? Is it just a very large empty space, or is there anything in here besides the mosaic on the floor?
Oh yeah. So if you're going to take some time to look around,
I am definitely going to start looking for traps.
Okay.
That's what I'm doing.
Okay. Yeah. Go ahead and
Not
roll.
normal.
Yeah. Roll investigation.
Anyone helping? Because that's a 2. Yeah, +2, so 4.
Okay. All right. With a 4, this is a room. It's great. No problem. Even with a 4, though, I will tell you that you can see that it looks like there's some sort of fabric on the walls, which you can approach if you want from where you're at, and then also that the mosaic, it looks like, covers the entire floor. That's about what you can get. So if you want to do more than that, you can.
And you said there was a passage at the far end. Is that correct?
Yeah, so you came down some stairs, and there's kind of a big room, and then on the opposite end of where you came down, there's another door.
Hey, everyone, it's perfectly safe. We can cross.
And that the mosaic on the floor and the designs on the walls, are these abstract designs, or does it look like murals or scenes of some sort?
That's a very good question, Carbuckety. Are you going to go investigate closer?
Yes, I am going to join Gemlin near the candle and see what we can see over there.
Yeah, as you pass the candle and you look at the on the walls, right? You can see it's actually like a pretty ornate tapestry, faded from time and everything. But you actually see what looks like some adventurers, 5 adventurers. It looks like they're fighting these 2 horrific-looking beasts.
Is there anything notable about the adventurers?
Is there?
Yeah, it's interesting you ask. They look like you.
Tell me more about these beasts.
The beasts. Let's see. Someone roll. Someone who knows about different beasts and stuff. Roll a nature check.
I think
Is this something that Yippitor is actually good at?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, not 4.
Okay. Never seen them before. They're very like fierce in a pretty in a way, but that's about all you can make out. Yeah.
And And they're standing right behind me, aren't they?
No, they are not. Yeah.
Okay.
So these
you whip around.
tapestries, exactly how big are they?
They fill sort of like the whole wall, and it looks like it's almost like it's showing these same figures sort of fighting these beasts in different ways, and it looks like as it's repeated, different things change sort of as it's going around the wall, and it looks like in some the adventures are winning, and some the beasts are winning. Some it looks like it's a stalemate like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm looking around for the one that, I mean, this looks like it might be worth lifting, right? So I'm gonna check out which one is in the best condition.
Okay.
And I'd like to use my mage hand to help relieve it from the wall if I can, and fold it up and take it with me.
Okay. Yeah. You use your mage hand to release the best looking one and fold it up. It just feels like normal cloth. It's looking.
That's fine.
Yeah, I think, let's see, someone also mentioned they were going to look at the mosaic a little bit as well. As you were looking at it, it is depicting the same sort of beasts on the floor. Both of them, oddly though, as you're looking at it, look like they're sort of snarling and jumping sort of towards the door on the far end. Who's like the most artistic member of the party?
I think that might be me.
Okay. Roll I guess like performance or history would be like the two closest things to art, like an art check.
17.
Okay. Yeah, with that, like, this is odd. Like, if you were gonna do a mosaic, you would probably center these things in the middle of the room. Like these two look sort of like haphazard, and like they're like, yeah, haphazard and very much like weighted towards the far end of the room.
Mm-hmm.
So I am I can't see the whole room because I don't, my candle doesn't reach that far, but I'm curious if somebody who can see a little bit better can tell me if the whole wall, like, are all the walls all covered with tapestries? Are there any gaps there? Anything where it seems like a tapestry is either missing or soon to be added?
There's a significant gap.
Besides the one that we just uncovered.
Yeah. Okay. Besides that.
Yeah, and I think after you move that, right, you can probably move a couple others, and all you see is sort of the same stonework on the walls that was in the hallway or the stairway leading down as well. So some faded colors, things like that. Nothing out of the ordinary.
So I do share what I've discovered about the floor, and I say, this is not right. This is not normal. When you make art, this is ugly. And it looks like someone. I don't know why someone would have done it like this on the floor, where they're approaching that door. So I think we should go that way. I mean, we're here to get the item, right? It's obviously farther down.
So,
because there's nothing
Jared,
else here.
As you were looking at the various tapestries and these adventurers fighting these beasts with varying levels of success. What were they doing in the ones that looked like it was going well for them? Are there any that have really vanquished the beasts and suggest what it was that happened to vanquish them?
They probably didn't sit around talking and probably actually fought the beasts.
Yeah.
Okay, axes. I see.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Yeah, the ones where it was going well, there was like this nice cross stitch where that said teamwork over, and there's like a rainbow.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
Yeah. Yeah, with this room fully explored, I think, you see as Charity indicated, we should just continue to go on. There's the door at the far end. That door looks like it's a doorway, I should say, not a door. And then that goes directly into a spiral staircase.
Up or down?
Down. Always down.
Yinpator is going to lead the way.
Okay. Yeah, I think Yinpator, you are probably keenly aware of this sort of thing. These steps are designed for human feet. Like, yeah, more like human feet, so it's a little bit of a drop, but you're probably used to going down this. There's nothing too outstanding to say about this spiral staircase other than the fact that it is quite long. Probably 100 or so steps as you're going down. Should all make a
So I'm
dizziness
gonna
roll.
be following closely behind. Trying. Since I do have dark vision, I'm trying to look out for anything that might be a danger. Knowing that he's going to be busy just watching his own feet, and I'm also annoyed that he's going so freaking slowly.
Yeah.
For these particularly small steps, right?
Yes.
It's annoying. So I am kind of like right almost on top of him, but I am also trying as best I can to look ahead and see if there's any immediate dangers. Maybe point him out for a step that is particularly looks like it's about to fall apart or something.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I think as you're looking, the steps are quite dusty. They're made of stone, and it looks like they're made fairly well too, right? Like, so despite the age of this place, it looks fine. They're not too terribly worn. Yeah, I guess, is anyone else doing anything differently other than going down the stairs?
Well, I've still got my library book tucked under my arm, so to keep my hands free, I'm gonna stick it in my satchel for safekeeping. I'll totally be back later.
Oh yeah, totally. Okay. All right. Yeah, I think you continue to go down. Yipator, as you're going down sort of the last couple steps, you round the corner. There's another doorway down at the bottom. This one opens up into all you can see from on the opposite end of the door frame is just sort of like a massive space in front of you. Does not seem like another small little room.
Can I see the walls on the sides or across?
No.
Gemlin's going to take this out. The candle he was using is guttering out. And he's going to take this opportunity to light a lantern that he has instead that should provide some more time or a little more stable light for him.
Okay. Yeah.
Kind of waves it around the just over the threshold just to see if it casts its light on anything in particular.
Okay. Excuse me. Yeah, I think as you do that, you kind of cast it on the inside like that. You don't quite pick up anything other than as you're sort of flashing left and right. There's some quick flashes, like you've gone over some metal or something flashing back at you. In front of you, though, is just sort of this this little bit rough stone just going like that, and then you can't see the ceiling from where you're at or the walls.
I think I might see Gemlin taking a look, and I'm going to step up next to him and summon. Oh, excuse me, I just looked. It takes an hour to cast. I was going to cast Find Familiar. I think it's quicker than that. And summon an owl, but let me verify that I can do that in the time we have allotted.
Okay. Yeah, I think you can. We can assume that you. Well, let's see. I guess if you're deciding right now, if it takes an hour, it takes an hour. If not, then yeah, you can have that. Does anyone else want to do anything?
Yes, it takes an hour to cast. So I didn't say it earlier, so in the spirit of honesty, I will not have it now.
All right. Yeah.
Well, I think it would be not unreasonable in a one shot to have said, I chose this spell because you can cast Find Familiar months ago and still have that same familiar around.
That's true.
Right? That's true.
Well, as you tell me, right? So I will ask you this in a role playing style question. Is Triss the sort of person that just always has her familiar out, or would this be a rare thing that the familiar only comes out when needed?
Well, she's new. She's newer to wizardry, so this would have been a more recent achievement, scholastic achievement for her. But she's pretty excited about her studies, so I think it's entirely possible that having unlocked this ability, she's been pretty excited about it and has kind of been practicing this particular aspect of enchantment. So
your owl is there then. Yeah.
Cool. Then I will kind of ask it to go and make a perimeter sweep of the room, this enormous room that we're having trouble kind of seeing the bounds of. And as long as it's within 100 feet of me, I can kind of communicate with it. So I'm going to ask it to kind of make a 100-foot sweep and see what it sees.
Yeah. So it makes this kind of big sweep. It probably has to fly up about 60 feet or so. before it sees the ceiling. There doesn't seem to really be anything up there of note. And then as it sweeps back kind of down along the walls, it sees these like metallic metal creatures on the wall. I don't know like if how intelligent your owl is, right, at describing. I don't think like is this like a video feed?
So yeah,
Yeah.
I can kind of warg into
Okay.
it, a la
Yeah.
Game of Thrones. So
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So you see these like metallic things. They almost look like massive suits of armor, like maybe 10 or 15 feet tall or so, and they're all holding different weapons along the wall. Like one has an axe, one has a sword, one has a dagger, those sorts of things. There's like 3 on each wall as your owl is going around, and they are just sort of hanging out on the walls.
okay, I'm going to relate this and say, ladies and gentlemen, we have some tall, skeletal metal things, and they are very motionless right now. And my personal preference is that they stay that way. But, we work as a team, so we'll see where it goes.
Mm-hmm.
Does my owl get a sense of how large the room is? You said about 60 feet till it hits the ceiling, but
Yeah.
kind of lengthwise.
Yeah, we'll say like about 100 feet, right? So you kind of get the full sweep. And then I guess, yeah, then the other detail then, if you kind of saw that, would be that there's a door on the far end. This one is closed.
Okay, it does have an actual physical door in it.
Yeah.
Is it wood, stone, metal? Am I able to kind of discern?
It is a mixture of all of those.
Oh, fantastic.
It's a more ornate door.
Multimodal. Okay, I will relate that as well, and say, yeah, friends, this is a large room. We have some ornate, perhaps art, perhaps defenses, I'm not sure, but the great news is that there's another exit. I love duplicate exits. We have 2.
You had me expensive. Let's go.
Okay. How are you making your way across this room?
Well, we have plenty of space that we can spread out a little bit, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But we send you ashore first.
The barbarian.
Well, it's important. We don't want to, spread ourselves too far away from him with his little baby legs.
Yeah.
Right. So we allow him to go first to set the pace for the team.
No, his legs seem like a perfectly normal size to me.
Yeah, just because we have a couple giants in the party.
I will point out that the half-orc and the human are in the minority here, size-wise, so careful where you walk.
I always have to be careful where I walk with you 3 around. But go on, go! Stop talking. Let's talk more. Move.
The giant metal things don't seem to care that there's discord among the party.
Maybe the half orc wants to check for traps ahead.
Oh, fine.
Yeah, as Charity leads the way, I guess Carbuckety will scurry or whatever it is he does with his short little legs behind Charity.
Okay.
Jamlin, would you like to assist me in making sure our little friends here are safe?
Yeah, I will do that to the extent that I can.
What are you gonna do for checking for traps? I guess, yeah, describe this to me. What's the plan?
Well, yeah. So I do have dark vision, and
Mm-hmm.
it's primarily just kind of looking around, primarily the floor, since it's a enormously open space. I won't really be able to see much on the far walls. It sounds like, and it sounds like that we're kind of almost walking in the blind, right? Because I can't. Well, the owl might have seen the door at the far end. I'm just kind of meandering in the direction that she indicated, right?
Yeah. Right,
so
yeah.
I'm primarily keeping my eyes on the floor, taking a scan, from time to time, and I'm pausing to scan around from time to time. So I'll maybe advance, 10 or 15 feet at a time, pause, and take a look around to see if anything looks abnormal.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah. If you're just going kind of straight down the center of the room,
That's
just towards the door.
Yep.
Yeah, you're not seeing anything abnormal as you're walking there. Roll a perception check though for me.
Sure.
Is he, because I'm helping, is he rolling with advantage? there.
If you're going to do the same thing, yeah, you can do that. If you're taking a different approach, then he'll just roll by himself.
I've been sort of mirroring his actions, kind of on the,
Okay.
the other little. Yeah, we've been fanning out, but
Okay. Yeah. Why don't you roll with advantage for sort of the both of you.
19 and 20. So yeah, 20.
19 and 20. That is great. Yeah. So you, as you were looking, right, you don't see anything like really abnormal, other than you're noting that there's these very regular sort of like gouges, not quite in the center of the room. Like you're walking down the center. It looks like on the ground there's these gouges, like just off to the left and the right a little bit, and they're perpendicular to how you're walking.
And as we're walking, I am, and I'm doing this thing of like pausing, right? So I do take a moment to point out the gouges to the others, and I say, I have no earthly clue what that is for.
Are they like a long line that's a gouge, or is it like sort of like sporadic?
Yeah, it looks like quite a long line. I think if you were to get down and like really investigate, so it's like of an even depth, if this makes sense. So if the floor is uneven, the gouge is just sort of going straight across. Like it's not riding up and down. I'm giving you this because 20 was a pretty good roll, right? Like so you're seeing these gouges.
And do they point to these skeletal metallic things on the walls?
They do not actually. They just How far are you going to investigate them?
Not very.
Okay. Yeah, they run perpendicular off into the distance.
It's just two of them, or
there's a bunch of them. Now that you notice them, you see them like it's like every like 5 feet. Looks like there's another one.
As Charity's pointing these out, there is an ungouged space in the center of the room that we're...
Yeah, the very center. So there's probably maybe like a foot or so where those gouges like don't meet.
Like wide enough for a full-size person, or at least a gnome?
Yeah, like if you want to, you could be kind of like 1 foot in front of each other, walking down the center of that.
Okay.
All right.
So these gouges must not be very wide then, right? If it took a high roll just to see them, otherwise you just walk over them with no issue, right?
Yeah, they're pretty thin. Like it was.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, Gemlin's
We
wondering.
proceed on.
Okay.
Gemlin is curious if anybody has enough. Anybody thinks it might be wise to sort of toss something out into one of those gouges and see what happens, or if that's just inviting some danger.
Capital idea, friend.
Well, I'm feeling a little like I'm a little curious about these things, and I take something from my pack that I feel like I'm not going to use, or
You probably have a rock or something.
or something like that, and I just kind of underhand it far enough away from us, but that I'm still certain that it'll sort of rattle across at least one of those gouges, just to see if something happens.
Yeah. You throw it and skitters, much like a rock would on stone.
Much like a rock would. All right. Well, I kind of hang my head in some chagrin with my attempt at adventuring and continue on with the party.
Yeah. As you approach the door on the far side, the Gemlin's light sort of lights it up as well. This door is relatively ornate, like I mentioned, right? There's some wood and stone and metal like that. There is some carvings. Again, this looks very similar to the tattoos that you saw on Nemia earlier. There's some of those insignias and stuff in there, and there's also just one big doorknob in there.
What side are the hinges on?
The hinges are on the right side.
On the inside, on our side of the room?
On the inside.
Yeah, on our side of the room. Okay.
Yeah.
This is roll for topic. I want to know
Yeah.
what the
The door is a mimic.
Yeah, are you gonna open the door, Unipator?
Thought you were in the lead.
Well, no, I was getting us over here. This is clearly your job.
Fine. Yimpator goes and just pulls the door very quickly. Not even bracing for anything. Just pulls it open.
Okay. It's heavier than a normal door, although Yimpator is quite mighty. Yeah, so I think it opens. It is surprisingly smooth given the kind of the age of the rest of this place. It opens quite nicely. There's another room inside of here. This one's smaller. You can see the extent of it as you look in. There is it's like a 12-sided room as you're looking inside of here. In the middle, there's a desk. On the desk, there's a couple objects that you can see, and we have to investigate closer. And sitting behind the desk, there's a skeleton. And then in either corner, kind of like off to the right and left on the far end of this room, there are these two, it looks like the husks of like a giant insect in both corners. The colors in here are faded, just as they were everywhere else, but you note that it looks like kind of more intricate design work done in this room than there were in the rest of the dungeon. What would you like to do?
And we don't see any books or writings immediately?
If you were starting to look, it looks like there's something on the table, but there isn't like a vast library or anything like that in here.
Are there any kind of light fixtures, like sconces for torches or anything, or does this place look like it's designed to be dark?
Yeah, interesting that you asked that. Yeah, so I guess as you look around, right, you start to see that it looks like there's these globes on like each of the faces in here. They're not lit up. It doesn't look like there isn't like a light switch or anything like that for them, but they're globes, and it's approximately where you might want to put light.
Okay.
We're at 1 hour.
Thank you. This is good. Good timing. What would you like to do inside this room?
I'm going to shuffle up to the desk and kind of stand on my tippy toes and take a peek and see if I can see any kind of books or scripts or runes carved into the desk, anything of a kind of erudite magical nature that I would be interested in.
Okay. There is it looks like a stone tablet. There's a scroll and there's a book.
Oh, I would love to know more about the scroll.
Okay. Are you going to touch it? What are you going to do?
I have learned from my early studies that touching scrolls is not always wise. So I'm going to do the best I can to take a look at it and determine what I can about it without touching it.
It looks old, although I guess do some sort of check. I guess how would Triss approach figuring this out?
She has magic on the brain, so she would probably do history or arcana, I think.
Okay. Probably history.
Okay.
I would say. So go ahead and roll history.
17.
Okay. As you were looking at that scroll, right, like you can see it's pretty tightly wound. It looks like there isn't any like script on it at all. You can kind of date it though, as you're looking at this versus the tablet versus the book. The scroll looks like it fits with the rest of the decorations and stuff inside of this place, if that makes any sense.
Okay, that makes sense. I'm going to wave Charity over and say, honey, dear, could you come and see if there's any nasty business, any traps here with any of this other stuff?
Yeah, anything for you. Yeah, absolutely. So I am taking a look around and particularly focused on the desk and the things on the desk, and then provided I don't find anything particularly interesting there, I'm also going to check out those husks.
Okay. When you're looking at the desk, you're looking specifically for traps or just anything out of the ordinary?
I'm specifically looking for traps.
Okay. Roll your trap finding skills.
I believe that's a 17.
Okay. Yeah, with a 17, you find a pretty like rudimentary trap on the underside of the desk. It looks like there's like a button that can be pressed from the seating position. And that goes sort of out to the front, and there's some sort of like nozzle up there that looks like it might fire off something.
Great. Yep. So I will back up and indicate to back up, lean down to where I can see it. And then I'm going to use my mage hand, my special mage hand to disarm that trap.
Okay, yeah. You disarm it with that 17 roll initially. Like you could see the whole thing, right? There's just sort of one wire. Mage hand rips that wire out and deactivates the trap.
And then after I do that, I will keep the mage hand up and lift each of the items off of the desk one at a time. Just to make sure there's nothing else that I didn't pick up.
Okay. Which one do you start with?
So you said there was a tablet. I might not be able to get that one. It might be too heavy. A book and a scroll.
Yes.
Right? So I'm going to start with the scroll first.
Okay. Yeah. Triss had indicated the scroll looks like something. As your mage hand touches it and begins to lift it, many things happen all at once. The tablet and the book just burst into flame and go away. The skeleton in front of you begins to reanimate and grow flesh behind you, and the husks in the back, these insects begin to revive as well. Carbuckety, I think as you're looking at the sconces along the walls, they each in turn start to light up going around the room.
Well, that's good. I was going to look for a way to turn them on, so you found it.
Yeah.
My pleasure. And remember, we don't tell them about the book or the tablet.
The skeleton, as it begins to reanimate and grow back, its garments begin to regrow as well on it. And seated in front of you is a person holding a knife to its arm, and it's actively bleeding. It looks like it has just cut itself. Actively bleeding like that. And then as soon as the flesh is sort of creeping up the back, it forms her face, and she immediately takes a deep breath, goes, the spell, it worked. I have so little time. I cut too deep. I managed to bind him out and bind his minions in stone and thread. Take the writings. Do not give it to him. Do not give it to him. Whatever you do, ask the page. And she dies.
So, do we know enough about Namia to imagine that this is Namia?
This is not Namia, right? This is someone else. Yeah, I think if you let's see, Tim, you were trying to say something. I think a little bit ago. Okay.
No, my response would be my warmest smile,
of
course. And as I'm now that this is set off, anyways, I'm just bringing that scroll to me and saying we have no intention of giving him this, none at all, and we would absolutely give it to whatever the spider's name was.
To the page.
To the page. Of course we'll give this to the page. That is actually what the page sent us down here to do. To just retrieve it for them.
Her eyes, like she locks eyes with you, and like they sparkle one last time before she dies.
So, do we know what pronouns Namia does use? Would the him that she was talking about potentially be Namia?
Yes, yeah. Namia uses he/him pronouns.
All right. Well,
very
job accomplished.
Yeah. As soon as this figure dies, as well, those the beetles on the side seem to shake off. It looks like some sort of spell that was put on them. They begin to advance on you.
Charity, could I take a look at that scroll before things get too hot in here?
And I'm handing it as I'm leaving.
Okay.
Let's go back the way we came.
All right, everybody roll for initiative though.
So I'm realizing that Namia is our quest giver, and I actually meant to ask about Namia's master. And
Oh yeah, Namia's
Namia.
master. Namia did not tell you anything about his master. Let's see. Yes, so you're all gonna roll for initiative. Give me 1 second here. I've got y'all here. Okay, George got a 9. Thank you. I don't know how you did that. Joel got a 19.
I got an 8.
Okay.
17.
17. Wait, Charity?
19.
19. Okay. All right. So you'll be going first. That's pretty slick. I guess this is an audio medium, so none of you know exactly what happened, but a couple of them were flashing their numbers up on the screen, and it was great. Okay. All right. Tim, Charity is up first, and you said you were dashing out with...
Were there 2 of us that had 19s?
No. I think...
Oh. Okay.
I had a 17.
Yeah. Did anyone have a 19? Anyone else?
Gemlin.
Nope. Okay.
Gemlin, you had a 19? Joel, you're muted if you're saying something.
Yes, I had a 19.
Okay, all right. Yeah, so Charity and Gemlin, who wants to go first?
Yeah. So this. Go ahead.
Yes. Well, in this whole mess, I've also I've had my short bow equipped already, actually. So for the record.
Okay.
And I've got a dagger at hand too. I will go first.
Okay.
So how far am I from these husks? These reanimated beetle husks?
Yeah. So these beetles are probably they're large. They're probably 5 feet in length or so. They're on the opposite end of the door. So you probably have the desk in between you two.
Okay.
So maybe a good 15 feet.
Well, I'm going to use my that short bow that I've got as a nice ranged weapon and take a shot at them from behind the safety of this desk.
All right.
Like combat is not my forte.
Okay. Roll to hit.
Yes, sorry. Roll to hit.
Yeah, roll d20.
That is a 1.
Okay, that will not hit. Yeah, I think in response, actually, you see the beetle actually there's a glow that begins to light up inside of its. I don't know. Do beetles have thoraxes? Underneath its little pincers.
Sure. Yep.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. Charity.
Yeah, I don't have anything. Okay, so again in this room, the only thing that I could potentially get some cover is is that desk in the middle, which has my comrade already hiding behind, right?
Yeah.
So that sounds like I think I'm going to use a human meat shield, although he's a little too small to really give full advantage there. But I'm going to look at the one on the right, point my finger, say a couple words, and cast True Strike so that I can gain some insight, which will just basically give me advantage on my attack next round.
Okay. All right. Does it give everybody advantage, or is it just you?
For me, it gives me advantage on my next strike, or if I attack in the next round. And but other than that, I am going to. Yeah, I think as far as bonus action, I think that's it. Yeah.
Okay. You're gonna stay put. You're not gonna move anywhere else.
I know. I'm gonna try and position myself also behind the behind the human and the desk.
Okay. All right.
Basically, I want those between me and the beetles.
Okay. Yeah. Cool. Yes, I think you're probably on the side with the skeleton now, dead human, behind there. So you probably leap over on the other side.
Yeah.
Triss, what are you gonna do?
So if I were to use my 25 feet of movement to retreat, about
Mhm.
how far would that take me? Would I be fully out of the room or
Yeah.
still kind of moving towards the door?
Yeah, you could be fully out of the room.
All right, I'm going to move towards, I'm going to be right in the doorway and I'm going to turn around and cast Ray of Sickness on the reanimated insect to my left.
Okay. Um, just as a point of order, I shouldn't reveal my hand too much, but did you go outside or did you stay inside?
I'm going to stay right, just kind of right in the doorway.
Okay.
So that I feel that I could kind of at a moment's notice be all right, but
Okay.
still staying close enough to be engaged in the combat.
Okay. All right, yeah. As you sort of cross into the doorway, like just past the room, into that, you hear like a click happen behind you and the whir of machinery. You cast Ray of Sickness.
I do.
Okay.
It's an 18 to hit.
That hits. Roll
Okay.
damage.
PD. All right, so it is 12 points of poison damage, and it has to make a Constitution saving throw.
It makes that con saving throw, but it is. I don't know why I rolled that. It died real bad. What happens when you hit something? What happens when you hit something with that and it dies?
Oh man, so it's a ray of like greenish energy, right? So I imagine that it just kind of goes into it and just kind of erupts just a little bit from kind of the back end, and maybe there's some green
Okay.
ooze.
Yeah. As that happens, you see that there's like, as you kind of like tear a hole through the front of it, you see that there's actually like a flame inside of this thing that like it's put out as that Ray of Sickness touches it and goes out the back of it, and this thing dies.
And so that light is entirely extinguished.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that light is extinguished. The other beetle, though, is going to rush towards whoever is in front right now. Did everybody get behind Yipitor? Was that the plan?
I haven't had a chance to do anything yet. So
Okay.
Yeah, I think it would to be.
Well, wait, hold on a second. Carbuckety, you were looking at the sconces?
yeah.
Okay, yeah, it's gonna go toward you. So yeah, it will scurry around, and it's going to. You will see that same glow start to happen from inside of it, but it will try to bite you this time, and that is going to be an 8.
Carbuckety is too small and panickedly moving out of the way for that to hit.
Okay. Yes. So yeah, it tries to bite at you, and you nimbly step out of the way. Yipitor, what do you do?
Yipitor rages.
Okay.
And with a great rage, pulls out the battle axe and swings it at the beetle that's still up and attacking Carbuckety.
Okay.
With
Roll to hit.
a 19 to hit.
Yeah, that'll hit the beetle.
With 9 plus 2 damage, so 11.
Okay. You slice that beetle in half. I think as you swing through, the flame that's inside of it though has like grows larger and begins to consume it. It is starting to it starts to consume the beetle entirely. Carbuckety, what would you like to do? There's a fire in front of you right now.
Fire in front of me. A beetle-shaped fire.
Yes. Beetle-shaped, although quickly spreading. Unnaturally so.
Is it? So it's not just like consuming the husk of the beetle, but is it like spreading to adjacent objects, or is it just growing?
It looks like it is. There's a lot of like dust in this room, which that makes a little bit of sense that it would spread to those things. But it seems like it might even be like burning the stone.
That sounds bad. I think best thing to do is just retreat at this point. So I'm going to head for the door with Triss.
Okay. All right, you run out towards the door. We're out of combat for right now, although we'll just keep this order just in case. I don't know what you're gonna do, but we'll just keep this exact same order, I think. Yes, as you run out the door, Triss, I guess you probably alert them that you heard some sort of mechanical sounds and stuff behind you. Yeah, inside the room, as you turn around to look, you can see that you can actually see this room now. Those same sort of globes that you saw inside, it looks like there's some like along like the top edge of the wall as well, and it's lighting up this whole area down here. And the giant like metal creatures and stuff have all have taken out their weapons in front of them and are holding them at the ready. They're good 50 feet away or so at this point. That's what you see right now. What are you going to do next?
Fire! Fire!
So that was in the previous room, right? The
previous
very, very large one with the grooves and such.
Yeah.
Okay. So just to be clear, the book and the tablet both burned up and disappeared, right?
Yes.
The only thing that remained from what was on the desk is the scroll that I have, right?
Yeah, there's the body that's slumped over the body with the dagger. It's dropped the dagger probably at some point when it died. Other than that,
the daggers look fancy.
Yes, it does.
Okay, I will grab the dagger and take it with me. I'm always on the lookout for something new to add to the collection. So.
Yeah, you grab that dagger. As soon as you touch it, there's a very weird sensation in your hand as you're touching it. Like there's fire all around you as well. You move your hand sort of to like go like pocket it or put it away somewhere, and there's an after image of your hand that kind of stays in one spot for a second and then catches up. So you put it away.
That was so cool. Totally worth it.
Doesn't hurt. It was there. All right. What are you all doing?
Well, run.
Yeah.
I think Triss is in the doorway.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was right there at the doorway, so I turn around and I see that this room is illuminated. I see what Charity sees, I think, right? Just kind of this room, and that the statues have definitely moved and seem to have more of a defensive, more active stance, kind of.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm going to point that out and say I don't think they've attacked us yet, but keep an eye on them. They're aware of us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. As you say that, like as you take a beat to say that, you can see that there's like this rumble that starts to happen from either end of the room, like either side of the room, and the walls themselves start to like come in.
Oh boy.
Does it look like they're from where we can see that they're following those grooves?
Oh yeah.
I think we're ready for it, right?
Yeah.
I like Cherry's
let's
plan.
see. The rogues among you,
Yes.
like you're probably doing some quick calculations and stuff.
Uh-huh.
You two could get across.
Yes.
All right.
And our friends, yeah, and they could not.
Probably not.
Triss is pretty handy.
Yeah. So yeah, what I'd like to do is I want you to decide on your approach for getting across this room, and then we're gonna do a kind of a series of rolls where we'll narrate like the things that you're gonna try in order to get across the room, and as long as you get like 3 successes, it'll be sort of like a death saving throw concept here.
You can call
All right.
it.
So what's your approach? What was that?
You can call it a clock if you like.
Yeah, it's a clock.
So for the three of you, are any of you faster than the other?
25
What is
25 feet. Well,
25.
Also 25.
You're a half orc. You're strong.
Yeah, but I can't carry 2 of you and keep my speed up.
Yeah.
can you throw us though?
That's offensive.
Yeah,
maybe
for
but I'm
our
a
magic
big
users,
it.
is there anything that they could do? Yeah, for our magic users, is there anything that they can do to try and speed this up or to try and slow down this crush?
I have Misty Step, but I don't know that I can bring anyone with me. I think that might just be for myself.
I wonder if there's any magic that can freeze or slow down in some way the walls, or do a trash compactor type stop here with a.
Anyone have an
Sort of
immovable
pull.
rod?
A penny placed in the right spot. Stop this whole thing.
Well, I mean, I do have 1,000 ball bearings. I could throw them into the groups.
Okay. I like this. Okay. So you're getting somewhere. This is a plausible idea. If you want to pursue the ball bearings idea, you could.
I think ball bearings is a last resort idea. I think
Okay.
we need something a little better than that.
Yeah.
But yeah. So 1,000 feet of elven rope that you said no.
You unfortunately do not have that. Just one little yank and you all fly across.
Yeah. So are the things on the side? What were they? These.
Metagaming wise, like you would recognize them as some sort of robot automatons. Like
Yes.
yeah.
Are they? And they're moving along with the walls,
Mhm.
like they're closing in on us as well.
Yeah.
I wonder if anyone could cast some spell that would knock them down to stop these walls.
So I have Artificer's Lore, which gives me insight into historical magical tinker items. Could I see if I am able to determine anything about the function of these statues and whether we are able to activate that function?
Yeah. Go for it.
I'm gonna roll. Oh, I rolled
I
really
also
low.
have Artificer's Lore as
Oh.
a fellow rock gnome,
Oh,
which is weird for a
hello.
barbarian. But that's that's why Yin Pator is so frustrated with magic, because he knows so much. He grew up around all these people building all these cool things, and he knows how it works. He just hates it's just a sore spot growing up, but
Okay.
it absolutely can help out with.
Okay.
Yimpitor, right now we need it to not work.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is actually Yimpator's specialty.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So roll advantage then. I guess Jess, you started this. Yimpitor will step in and like have an opinion.
Same thing twice. 26.
Oh, jeez. Okay. Yeah. All right. I thought you said 2 earlier, so I was like, okay, well.
Oh, no,
that's
sorry.
that. All right. We'll count this as your first success. With this first success, right, you can see that these automatons, right, are like not like a known model, although you're not surprised to see this sort of thing. You can see that they too are on tracks as well, and it looks like they can kind of move up and down the wall. As well, and you can also tell probably just from looking at this, like where their weak point is. You know, it's like this flashing red spot. Like, how did you not see it, right? Like, there's a weak point that if you were to hit that, it would probably take them out and maybe gum up the works in some way.
Okay. I'm gonna shout this out and say I think we could maybe kind of stopper this up. Go hit the red belly button on each of the statues. I think it might bring them down.
Yeah. Okay. All right. That's
Yimpator is absolutely running to hit the statues.
All right. So as Yimpitor rushes in, what else do you want to try?
Well, Gemlin wants to try his bow again and see if he can hit it from afar rather than try and rush in.
Okay. All right. Okay. I'm gonna count that as sort of like the same idea. We'll roll it for those in a second.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I'll be assisting with that. I mean, I can pull out my short bow and try and knock a shot off too.
Okay. What would Carbuckety be doing in this situation? Do you have anything?
Carbuckety would like to summon an unseen servant.
Okay.
In hopes of having it go and just poke the button or the weak spot.
Okay. All right. Yeah. I think you do that like this unseen servant sort of emerges out of the ground right in front of it, and you see it like quickly manipulate like this just one spot, and it shuts down this thing entirely. It doesn't like make it fall over and get crushed or anything like that, but it does deactivate it. It's holding this one's actually holding like 2 small hand axes, and it drops both of them. and those are like slowly about to get sucked under the wall. We're gonna try the ball bearings.
Well, obviously, but
Yeah.
what about all the attack actions?
Okay, yeah. I guess let's resolve those. We can do all that. Yeah, go ahead and just roll. Everybody roll an attack roll. Who's going to try to do that? So you've taken out like one of these things. Like I said, there's 3 on each wall.
17.
Okay. Yeah, you managed to hit one of them, and I think you hit like a gear in particular that wrenches it off the wall, and it just falls on the ground and like underneath the wall that's coming.
I got a 25.
Okay. Yep. Same thing. I guess, are you stabbing it? What do you do?
No, I short bow.
Oh, short bow. Yeah. Think like, yeah, quite a shot. Falls down.
3.
3. With short bow?
Yes, with a short bow.
Okay, yeah. It goes wide and sort of like pings off one of the walls, bounces and like cracks one of the sconces up at the ceiling, shatters into a bunch of sparks. Not sparks, actually, yeah. So it shatters and there's like this magical like kind of like dissipation.
Mm-hmm.
All right, what else do you want to try?
Yeah, I'm definitely doing that. I've got 1,000 ball bearings, so I'm just taking a handful and just throwing them into the grooves in one direction, and a handful and throwing them into the grooves in the opposite direction.
Okay.
Just want to gum it up as much as possible.
All right, roll a ball bearing strike.
Strike.
Roll a d20, and let's call this a sleight of hand check.
Sleight of hand, fantastic. Because that would be a 28.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah, with a 28, you throw like the exact amount for each of the grooves, and they all go underneath at the exact same time. No, I think you do actually hear this kind of like crunching, and one of the walls actually starts to like come in from the top a little bit. Looks like, and starts to rock, and they are slowing down at this point. Or you need one more success if you're going to be able to just walk across this thing. It is slowed down enough that you might be able to make it too. If you want to just run, although I'll have you make some sort of athletics check.
Yenpator gets an idea from what happened to him earlier and starts yelling, "Hey, Spider! Spider, there's a fire down here! Spider! Hey, Spider!" As loud, like twice as loud as he was yelling across the library when he got shushed.
Nothing happens. I did roll. Just want you to know I did roll. You gonna run for it? You're gonna try something else clever.
How many are still? So how many of those automatons are still standing?
There's only 2 of them, and I would say at this point, right, they're kind of like whirring and spinning. They're like, one has a sword, another one has 2 daggers, and they're just kind of like spinning around like this, their arms waving wildly as the walls are still coming in.
I'm good with running for it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, everybody. What was that?
And Yenpator, he's got his shield up above the other short folk.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
And as a rogue, we have we could dash as an action and as a bonus action, right? Because of our cunning.
Yes. You 2 can handily make it across, and you could even do one other thing if you wanted to. So if you wanted to make it a little bit easier on them, you could maybe try to disable the last 2.
Yep, absolutely.
Okay.
So I'm gonna use a short bow and tell them, remember me, the bravest of all. Go save yourselves, knowing that I can easily make it if I have to.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm gonna roll my eyes, but do basically the same thing.
Yeah. You'll kind of mumble the same speech. Okay. All right. Yeah. But roll your attacks.
17.
Charity?
8.
8. Okay. The 17 manages to take out like the one on the far side. So you have like one clear wall. And then the 8 misses. So there's one automaton swinging a sword on the right-hand side that's coming in. This is the one that is closest to the door that you're running towards. Everybody making a run for it?
Yep.
Although, is Triss, you're Misty stepping?
Well, so my thought was that I could use my movement, use my action to dash, and then Misty Step's a bonus action, and then kind of slip out the other side, kind of right past the automaton that remains would be my hope.
All right. Yeah, so I think you don't need to roll like that. That's totally fine. The rogues can make it, no problem. So Yipitor and Carbuckety, tell me how you're going to do this. Or just you're just going to go full out.
Yipitor is actually trying to like lead Carbuckety with his shield and try and like almost like doing combat with this, except with the shield to try and hit it and just like get us through that.
Okay, yeah, that's great. Yeah, I will give you
this plan.
You fully back it. Yeah, Carbucket is just like, yeah. I'll give you both advantage on that for the shield play. So good. Make your athletics check.
Well, I don't know this creature. You got to make sure I don't have any good athletics anything.
5 for Carbuckety.
With advantage?
Oh, no.
Okay.
12 with advantage.
Okay, that's good. All right.
14.
Okay. You both managed to slip past. I think Carbuckety, you can feel like there's a glancing blow off the shield that sort of just wishes past and probably gives you a bit of a close haircut as you're going. Yeah, and you make it through. The walls come together and crush all the automatons sort of directly, like in between them, and stop. Just like I said, like a foot away or so. There's just metal kind of going up like that. You also behind you, you can feel some heat coming. It looks like the fire from back behind you has started to spread through this trash compactor down the very narrow path that you've left it. Of course, it can go much quicker now that it has a direct path towards you. There's the spiral staircase in front of you.
Continue plan run.
Yeah, keep scurrying up the stairs, I think.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. You scurry up the stairs, whipping around the stairs as you go and you go and you go. Let's see, who was up front?
We probably
Just for the rogues,
running up in the order that we arrived at the doorway.
Yeah. So the rogues. Let's see. Yeah, Gemlin. As you emerge at the top of the stairs, you can see that this place is lit up a little bit, and in front of you, like pretty close, are these 2 large creatures standing up that are covered in tile.
Wish we saw
They're mad. You can see actually as you look, there's like these humanoid faces on the front of them with these gross teeth. And they both snarl at you as you come up and say, "Well, you're not who I was expecting, but you'll do."
How close am I to them?
There's probably, they're where you left them on the floor, so probably like 5 or so feet away. Like there's enough for you to slip in, and then you could all fan out if you wanted to, or you tell me. We're gonna go back into combat now at this point, and we'll start with you, Gemlin.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna do my best to put some distance between me and them. I'm gonna run to the right or to the left. I can't tell which direction would give me more distance.
It's pretty even run at this point. Right? Okay. This was a square room as Yipitor described it.
Yeah, I'm gonna break to the left then.
Okay.
Just see about getting some distance.
Okay. Yeah, you can probably do that, and just dash. Do you want to go to the far end, or are you staying in the room? What's your plan?
I want to stay in the room. My hope is that if I can be behind them, then I can start taking pot shots from at the back, which is kind of my specialty.
Yeah. All right. You can get over there, and I think you can probably take a shot, right? Like you have your dash. Or you can take your full movement, your dash, and then.
I've taken care The line of my arrow is not back into the doorway that I just came out of where my party is. So
Yeah.
I'm kind of aiming maybe crossways. But yes, I would like to take a shot.
All right.
All right. That's a 19.
That'll hit.
Yeah.
Roll your damage.
Well, where's my damage? Where is my damage?
What's your Charity? Do you have the damage handy for a short bow?
Yeah, for a short bow is d6 plus whatever your dex modifier is.
My dex is none. So d6.
Okay.
4.
Okay. All right, you do 4 points of damage. As you do that, like it hits the back of this thing and knocks some of the tiles off of it, and you can see that it has like this almost looks like tiger skin below that. Charity, you are up.
Yeah, so he went in and broke to the left. I'm going in, breaking to the right.
Okay.
I'm gonna move as far as I can. My intention is I'm gonna move, and I am gonna turn to the one that he just hit, and I'm gonna cast Toll the Dead on it.
Okay.
And then I will use my remaining movement because that is a 60-foot range. So I'm going to cast Toll the Dead on that one, and then I will continue trying to spread out. Since we're a team, we've done this before. I know we're fanning out to create lines of crossfire, and so I follow his lead, and so it needs to make a Wisdom saving throw.
What is Toll the Dead?
So I point at this creature in range, and in its mind, it hears me reciting the bells, the tintinnabulations of the bells, and it must make this Wisdom saving throw, or it's going to take some necrotic damage.
It has not made that throw, so as it is listening to this, it begins to, I guess, feel bad about itself.
Yes, it starts to contemplate its own existence and realize the futility of life.
Okay. All right. Roll your damage.
Did it do the Wisdom save?
Yeah, it did not pass it.
Okay.
I don't even know. I need to know what your the save was.
Okay. Yeah, and since it has hit points missing already, it takes 1d12. So that's 9 points of necrotic damage.
All right.
And then I'll use my remaining movement, to get as far over, and then I'll bonus action hide behind one of those tapestries that remains.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So my roll for that is a 25.
Yeah, that'll be plenty, and they're not even facing you too, so it's pretty easy. Yeah.
Cool.
I mean, one is depressed, and the other one is not looking at you. So the enemy's turns though are next. They whip around. They don't see anything behind them. Well, I guess let's see. You're all kind of in a jumble up front. I think one will advance towards the door, and who is next in order up there?
I think that was Misty Step Triss.
Yeah, in initiative and also in running, I think is me.
Oh yeah. Sorry, you were up. Yeah, you're up before the enemies, right? So yeah, go ahead.
Oh, am I? Okay.
Yeah.
Then I am going to draw myself to my full height of 2 foot 11 inches.
Okay.
And I'm going to take my water bottle out and pour it on my hand, and then clap my hands together and cast Ice Knife. And so I'm going to try to throw an Ice Knife at the creature on the left.
Okay.
And that is an 18 to hit.
That'll hit.
Okay. So it takes 3 points of piercing damage, but then the ice shard explodes, and the target and a creature within 5 feet of it must save on a dex saving throw or take 2d6 cold damage. So I don't know if the other monster is within that 5 feet.
Yeah, it is.
But
Okay. So the first one, the one you hit passes. The other one does not.
okay, dex save of 14. So.
Okay.
So that is 7 points of cold damage to the one who fails.
Okay. All right. Okay. Yeah, I think as the ice spike goes through, right, the same thing, like some of that mosaic sort of like peels off as it goes into it, like shatters and chips away. And then the ice shard goes and hits the other one, slams, and more of it goes flying. Are you standing in the doorway? Are you going to move elsewhere?
Oh God, I am going to try to move, but they are rather solidly in the middle. I'm going to try to move to the right, and
Okay.
I'm not a rogue. Can I try to hide inelegantly?
Yeah, you can try to. I think you can try to hide as on your turn.
Okay.
Although no,
That
because
might be
that'd be
my
your
action
movement.
though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Okay,
yeah,
I'm
no.
just gonna move to the right then, my 25 feet,
Okay.
and try to look small.
Okay. All right. Smaller. Yeah. So one is going to probably actually come after you, right? Like you're the one that's closest.
Sure.
So it'll get up in your face in the corner, even though you are tiny, and it will try to bite you. That's going to be 15 to hit.
Ah, that just hits.
Okay. And it's going to do 13 piercing damage to you. It'll
Gotcha.
bite you. Okay. The other one is going to come up. Carbuckety and Yipitor, who was up front.
Yipitor was to
He's got
to
shield.
do that shield run.
Okay. It's going to try to claw you. It will be a 19 to hit.
That hits.
Okay. Yep. And that will be 9 slashing damage. I think it just managed with a claw just to kind of get past and slash at you. And it is also like now directly in the like it is advanced, right? So it's blocking you from getting out of that stairwell. Yipitor, you're up though.
It sounds like I don't have. Can't get anywhere without going through this. Yipitor lets out a mighty gnome roar as he rages, and especially because he looks around and sees Charity has ditched them all. She's not in the room. Like typical coward.
Tall people.
And wields his mighty battle axe
Okay.
and attacks this creature in front of him.
Yep.
For a 19 to hit,
That'll hit.
and then 8 damage.
8 damage. You swing, you slice its face.
6 slashing and 2 melee.
Okay. Yeah, you slice its face, and I think it snarls back at you. It's a good day to die. Carbuckety.
Carbuckety will kind of bottled up in the staircase behind Yipitor, match the gnome's small but mighty brute force with magical force and cast Eldritch Blast at that creature.
Yeah.
So that's a ranged spell attack. Ooh, that's good. 21 to hit.
Yeah, I'll hit.
For only 3 damage, though. Force damage.
All right. You will hit it. I think that reminds it of the Toll of the Dead from earlier and does not like it. It shakes a little bit as that hits it and like more of the tiles go flying. Joel, we are back up to Gemlin. You are off in the corner. Let's see. Triss is backed into a corner by one of these, and 2 of your other compatriots are pulled up in the doorway.
And they're both still standing.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to just keep doing what has worked so far and take another shot with my bow at the one that's closer to me, which I don't think is the one that is cornering Triss.
No,
right?
yeah, that's the opposite one.
Yeah. So yeah, the one closer to me.
The one at the doorway.
Yeah. All right. Oh, come on. It's on the ground. What do I do?
Just re-roll it.
Reroll. All right.
Yeah.
Try and contain it. 10.
10. With a 10, that misses. Goes a little wide. Are you gonna move or do anything else?
No, I don't think I am. I don't think I have much in the way of inspiration at this point for what else I can do except keep throwing arrows.
Yeah. Let's see. Charity, you are hidden behind a tapestry.
Yeah, I am hidden, so I am going to take a shot from my hidden location, exposing myself, but giving advantage on the roll. Correct?
Yep. They don't see you.
And that'll be a 24, which I'm guessing hits.
Yeah, that'll hit. Are you attacking the one at the doorway or the one that has Triss cornered?
It's the one at the. It's the one that has the one that was on the right that has them pinned into the doorway. Correct?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. And since I had advantage on it, that gives me sneak attack. So that'll be crap. 12 points of piercing damage.
Okay.
And then, is there anything else other than the remaining tapestries that I could hide behind in this room?
I mean, there's the doorway out.
Yeah, that's obviously my first thought.
Yeah.
But I recognize that, I'm better with them than without them for now, I suppose. So,
yeah. If you were looking around for places to hide, I think the other thing of note is that the mosaic, right, like is covering the ground still, like where the beasts were on the ground. Like it's just like those tiles have been pulled up. It's not like there's a hole where they were underneath or anything like that. It's just like those tiles themselves are out, and it's just floor right there.
Okay.
So.
All right. I am going to move close enough so that I want to be about 30 feet away from them in case I decide to come in and do a little bit of melee action if I get another. So, and if there's a tapestry nearby, I will use my bonus action to hide behind it.
Yeah, you can probably just hide behind the next ones that are closer.
Oh, that one might not be successful. That's a 16 to hide. Against their passive perception, or if you want to roll perception.
Yeah, no, that'll work. Yeah, they're not super perceptive, so that'll work. Triss, you are cornered.
I am. I am going to use my action to cast Ray of Sickness once more.
Okay.
Scrolling to find that one there. So, range spell attack against the creature, even though it's not so ranged. That's a 17 plus 6.
That'll hit.
So that's 2d8. 8 points of poison damage, and then they have to make a Constitution saving throw, DC 14.
Okay. They do not pass.
Okay, so then it is also poisoned until the end of my next turn.
Okay.
And then I can use my bonus action to cast Misty Step and GTFO.
Nice.
And then I'm going to use my motion or my movement to do 25 feet towards the opposite door.
Okay. Yeah, with Misty Step and with your movement, you can get to that other doorway.
I am going to right around on the inside and just peek one eyeball out back around to watch what's going on.
Yeah, I think that the beast in front of you was about to bite and you're gone. It's very, very sad about that. It will whirl around looking for anything else that it can do. It doesn't see Charity, right? But it sees sees Gemlin on the far wall, right? So you're opposite it at this point, right on the other end. You see it raise its tail behind it and flick, and then these spikes come streaming out directly towards you. It's going to be a 10 to hit. Probably won't, but
no, it won't.
Okay. Yeah, the spikes go past you and tear up the tapestry along that back wall, and just rip it to shreds, and it falls. And then it'll start to run sort of towards you and make it to the center of the room. At that point. All right, the other one is in the doorway facing Yipitor. It's going to bite at you twice. First one will be 20.
If that hits.
Yep, the other one will miss. So it's going to bite at you once, and it will do 6 points of piercing damage.
Okay.
Okay, let's see. Yipitor, you were up, though.
Obviously, that sends Yipitor into a frenzy as a bonus action.
Okay.
Tasmanian devil, no. And which I cannot use a second attack or bonus action attack because I use my bonus action to frenzy this turn, but in future turns I get a second attack as a bonus action. But for this time, I'm going to swing that battle axe.
Okay.
And it is a dirty 20 to hit.
All right.
And does 10 points slashing damage, 2 points melee damage.
Okay. It is looking pretty wounded. It's bloodied and slashed. Jess, real quick, the other one was poisoned. What happens on its turn? I forgot to roll for that.
It has the poison condition, which I will look up for you right now.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, I was raged and I got, was that piercing damage?
Yeah.
I have resistance to piercing damage in a rage.
The bite was piercing, yeah, so.
So what does that do for me?
Take the half damage.
So, okay, so only 3 damage
Yeah.
instead of 6.
Feels like it's biting into rock. Let's see. We'll figure out what poison is. Thank you for looking that up, Jess. Carbuckety, you're up.
So Carbuckety is alarmed by the ferocity of this thing's attack and tempted to follow Triss with his own misty step, but he can't abandon Yinpator yet.
Okay.
So he will repeat his approach of summoning a ball of force and hurling it at the creature in front of him for another Eldritch Blast. It's an 18 to hit.
Yep, that'll hit. For
7 damage this time.
Ooh. Nice. What happens when something dies from an Eldritch Blast?
It's just a beam of force that blasts into it and rips apart its molecular structure.
Okay.
So it's got a little disintegration bits in it.
Yeah. I think it disintegrates and the remaining mosaic tiles sort of fall off of it onto the ground in front of Yipitor. Yipitor, I think that kind of went over your shoulder or something, right? So this thing just evaporates in front of you. The other thing that happens on Carbuckety's turn, you start to feel some heat coming from behind you up the stairs.
We gotta go.
Yeah. See,
real quick, poisoned means it has disadvantage on attack rolls and ability checks.
Okay. Good to know. All right. I don't think it used any. I think it tried to, but it didn't hit. So, okay. There's one of these things left. It's in the middle of the room. It's taken 12 points of damage and is poisoned. At this point, Carbuckety has just felt the heat from a fire behind him. Gemlin, you are up. This thing has just also shot some tail spikes at you.
Yeah, Gemlin is not sure what he was doing trying to get into combat this last time. It's not really his thing, so he's going to hightail it to that same door.
Okay.
The other end of the room.
Okay. Yeah, you're over there sort of at this point, so you can get there and you could even get up the steps and out at this point if you wanted to use your dash.
Where are my compatriots? Remind me of their relative positions to me.
So let's see. Triss is in the doorway right now, so you'd have to push past her a little bit. Let's see. Carbuckety and Yipitor are in the opposite doorway, and no one's seen Charity.
Yes, that is mysterious where Charity went. If I sort of remove myself towards that door, can I and I don't use my dash, can I take one more shot at this thing from where I am?
Yeah, you can get past Triss or in front of her.
I would want not to. I'm smart enough not to take a shot from behind her.
Okay.
I want to shoot.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So you can probably you can get in front and then So it's in the middle of the room. You can get a quick shot at it.
Yep. That's what I'd like to do here. It's an 18.
That'll hit.
For let's see, 4.
4 points of damage.
Yep.
Okay. You hit it. Tiles go flying. Charity's up. You're
So we
muted,
have
Charity.
just this one left in the middle of the room,
Yeah.
and I know these guys are gonna blame me unless I do something really amazing. So I just drop my short bow, and as I'm running towards this thing, I'm pulling out my two short swords, Lursa and Bator, and I'm running in and melee attacking with both my strong hand and my offhand.
Okay. All right. Roll some damage.
So the first one.
And you said with poison, does it take like? Does he get advantage on these, or does she get advantage on these?
No. So the creature has disadvantage when it attacks or does an ability check, but he does not have advantage on the attack.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay.
So the first one definitely misses.
Okay.
It's a 10, right? So like
okay.
that.
Yeah, just misses.
And the second one's a 13.
Okay, yeah, that also misses, although it looks very cool. You see Charity sort of emerge from behind the tapestry, just like screaming and running and like whirling all these swords, and I think like all you see is there's some like tile that goes...
And it totally fails, so bonus action, I think I would have used all my movement to get to it. Bonus action, dash towards the door.
Okay, all right, so yeah, you can make it like sort of right in front of where Gemlin and Triss are hanging out. Triss, you have just seen Charity like swing wildly at this thing, not seem to do much, and then run towards you.
Well, I'm gonna step out of the way so when she comes running through, she's fine. Okay. Yeah. I'm gonna pat her on the shoulder and be like, "It's all right, dear. It happens sometime, you know." And I am going to kind of like lean around her. And I'm gonna cast Firebolt, I think, at the remaining creature. So
So you've got the creatures in the middle of the room, and then on the far end you have Yipitor and Carbuckety are hanging out in the other doorway. So I don't know. Does Firebolt keep going?
It's a ranged spell attack, so I think
you have some control.
Yes, except that I rolled a 2. So for a total of 8. So I think that perhaps it goes wide, and they better duck. Okay.
Yeah, I think it probably rips more of those tapestries off. It rips off some of the ones that had teamwork cross-stitch, and they go fluttering down.
They still be on fire.
Yeah, it's the enemy's turn. It's going to it's going to do a couple things, actually. Like, in a rage after seeing its compatriot go down, the first thing that will happen is tail spikes are going to come towards you, Triss. That's going to be a 14 to hit.
Was
that just hits?
Wait, are you in between?
Am I not in front of her?
Oh.
Did you? Well, okay. So Triss, you mentioned did you step around Charity, or did you just go like?
I guess in my head I was thinking I was kind of like leaning around.
Okay, all right, yeah, okay. Then it's going to come at Charity then.
Okay, and it attacks with disadvantage because it's poisoned.
Okay. Oh, it's still poisoned on its turn.
Oh, nope, to the end of my turn. It's not. Yeah, I apologize.
Okay, so the first one was a 14, though, against Charity's AC.
Yeah, so no problem, 15 AC. So.
Okay. Yeah, so some spikes come at you. I think just go wide. Or actually probably like hit some of your armor and fall off. Then it does gallop towards you, though, and is going to bite and claw at you. So the bite will be 15.
I cast shield.
Okay. Shield comes up, hits a magical shield, and then the claw comes at you with a 20.
Which will just hit with shield. Oh.
Dirty 20, okay, yeah. The claw will rend through the shield and do 8 points of slashing damage.
Got it.
Okay. All right, Yipitor, you can start to feel some heat behind you. Carbuckety, you can feel this too, and actually see some light coming up that very dark stairwell.
Mm-hmm. Is it Yipitor's turn?
Yep.
Yipitor yells, "The fire's still coming!" and runs at the creature for Great Axe attack.
Yep.
I said great axe. I was wielding the battle axe, which is so I'm not switching weapons. I'm just mixing up the.
It's on the far end of the room at this point. So like you would have to dash to get over there with your little cute little legs.
So I will dash, and then I am in a frenzy, so I can use a bonus action to. You can make
You're
a
like
single melee
and frenzied.
Yeah, I think you have to be. I don't know. I don't play barbarians very much, but I'm all sorts of mad.
Okay.
So I'm gonna dash and then use my bonus action to attack with the battle axe.
Okay.
That is a 21 to hit.
That'll hit handily.
For 9 slashing damage and 2 melee damage, so 11.
Oh, okay. All right, you managed to swing at it quite hard. I think you sever its tail off. So this tail gets severed off, although like the spikes kind of go like clattering on the stone off of it. Let's see, Carbuckety, what would you like to do?
So it is still up and kicking?
Yes. Although tailless, it is screamed.
I will follow my friend and not be the last one standing in the fire's way, and give it one more Eldritch Blast. I'm away. So,
okay.
17 to hit for 2 damage.
Yep. All right, you hit it with the Eldritch Blast from behind. You're just running up like directly behind?
Well, I've still got still have Impetor in between me and the monster.
Right.
So, because you didn't dash, so you didn't make it all the way up to it, right?
Yeah. Okay, so you're halfway into the room. Gemlin, I think like looking past, you can start to see some flames licking out of the far doorway that Carbuckety has just ran away from, and the beast is still alive and standing.
So I think what I'd like to do is, I was inspired by the ball bearings earlier. I want to try and use those to get it off its feet. I figure it's got no tail, it's off balance already. It's maybe got some tile, so it maybe doesn't have the best grip. So I'm gonna grab a handful from the bag and just kind of sling them underneath to get it to throw it off.
What's your dexterity?
11. No.
Okay.
Yeah, 11. Right. Although, well, let's see. Do I have anything that I could say? No,
it doesn't matter. It rolled very, very poorly. So these ball bearings, I think, go underneath it. I think it's probably pawing at the ground in like a menacing fashion as these go underneath it, and it begins to slip and it falls prone.
Excellent.
Okay.
Well, I have one other thing that I can do. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm gonna retreat further up these stairs and get away from this room.
Okay. Yeah. As you go up the stairs. You get to sort of like where the door is, that one-way glass is. As you look through, you can see Nemia is standing right there, looking. Are you doing anything else, or are you just getting up there?
I'm gonna shout to my companions who I see, but But no, I'm not doing anything else.
Okay. She does not look like, or he doesn't look like he hears you at all.
Okay.
Anemia on the other side. So. All right, Charity, you are up. There's a prone.
Yeah, so with this thing directly in front of me, and it's prone, right? So with advantage, I can attack?
Yeah.
Yeah, so attacking first with Lursa, that'll be I think that's 21 to hit. And since I have an advantage and I have a friend within 5 feet of him, I should have sneak attack on this.
Yes.
So that is 16 points of slashing damage.
Okay.
And then my offhand attack will be a 20 to hit.
Yep.
Oops. And that one only does... Oh, that is not bad. Another 6 points of slashing damage.
Okay. All right, you
Right.
slash at it with your two short swords. It like grimaces and smiles back at you. This ugly smile as it takes both of those slashes to itself. Triss, you are up. There's a prone.
And then,
oh yeah.
sorry.
Oh, you still got a bunch
bonus
of
action, disengage,
stuff. Yeah.
and get as far up into the exit as I can.
Okay. All right. Yeah, you can also get up there. I think you see as you're running up there exactly what Gemlin told you. Nemia is on the other side.
Because is it too big to fit through the stairwell up?
Oh, that's a good question.
I mean, that could
It would
solve
be
a lot
hard.
of problems.
Yeah, it would solve a lot of problems. It could make it up there. It's not going to be able to easily make it up there. It would be slowed down.
Okay.
Although at this point, it'd have to stand up first. So, Jess, Triss is up.
Okay. Triss is up. Charity has the scroll in her hand.
Mm-hmm.
As Charity runs past, I'm gonna reach out and tap her. Well, I can't reach very high, so probably like smack her on the back of the calf,
Yeah.
and if she's willing, make her invisible, which lasts for 1 hour.
Are you?
I am most definitely willing to be invisible.
Yeah.
I mean, not just for what's about to happen, but for the next hour, it's going to be an interesting hour.
Yeah, I'd say consider the warning we heard and consider that scroll carefully and smack Charity on the back of the calf. So
Nice. Okay.
and then I am also going to turn around and run towards the stairs.
Okay. All right, you run. Are you exiting or are you just getting up to the top?
I'm going to go as far as I can go.
Okay. All right. A couple of you are clumped up there then. Yimpator.
Yimpator is going to edge around this fallen beast, making sure that there is room for Carbuckety to get by. So get between the stairwell and the beast so that he can get away, but also it's going to keep wailing on the beast while Carbuckety is still in the room. So going to do a battle axe attack. And do I have an advantage because it's prone?
Yeah, you do.
Okay, so 16 to hit.
That'll hit.
And 13 damage.
Ooh, okay.
And then as my bonus action, I would also like to do a melee attack.
Okay.
With advantage, I assume?
Yep.
24. Well, let me see if I get a natural 20. No, 24.
Thank you for checking on that.
For 12 damage.
Okay. What happens when you kill this thing?
So this whirling dervish of a gnome is screaming out and just buries this axe that's almost as big as him right in the chest of this creature, which goes limp and the tiles clatter to the floor.
Yes, it does. Yeah, I think it gives one last sort of grunt as it dies down there. The bodies don't disappear or anything like that. They stay in place. We are out of combat at this point, but the fire is just starting to lick at the top of the stairs and is coming into this room. What do you do?
Well, I'm gonna run. I can take a hint. I'll head across and up the stairs and wonder why my companions are all bunched up at the top rather than just leaving.
Yeah. I think as you get up there,
see Charity. So
Charity's gone. You also see Nemia over there. Charity is gone. Tell me, what's the plan?
And are we able to exit? Like, I would definitely try to keep going.
You'd keep going? Yeah. You as you run, like, I mean, are you just gonna run full sprint? Like, what's your approach for exiting?
Well, now that the creature's dead, it's just the fire that's coming, right?
Yeah.
and we're bunched up there. I don't know. What about the rest of you? I would assume that, we want to get away from the fire. So.
Well, Charity, you're invisible, yeah.
Yeah.
So you might be a good person to see if we can actually exit. We're kind of cautious of this Nemia character at this point, so.
Yeah, I
fire
definitely when we
situation,
get to the. Can you describe what it looks like when we get to the doorway?
Yeah, you get up and it's like it's like this slightly transparent, like it still looks like stone, and it looks like you're looking through the full amount of stone, but you can see through it.
Yep.
On the other side, Nemia is sort of standing there, looking into the stairwell, right? But like not at anything in particular.
Okay.
Right? Just sort of like glancing through.
If I try and push my hand through, does it go through?
Yeah,
okay.
No problem.
Yeah, I want to. I want to get in. I want to. So Nemia is blocking it, or can I sneak past?
Nemia is blocking it. Are you trying to sneak past?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Roll a stealth check.
Sure. Can I have advantage because I'm invisible?
Yes, you do have advantage because you're invisible.
Oh, that's way better. Okay, so that'll be 21.
Okay, good. Yeah, with that you manage, like Nemia is like kind of shifting around, and like you time it, you manage to get right past him, and you were through and past him without him seeing.
Yeah, and I will assume, having been a well-oiled working team, that we have some triggers for each other, like a double tap or something like that, to indicate to them that we're able to do something, right?
Yeah, I would give you that. Yeah, you don't need like a message or anything.
Yeah, some kind of like some team signal. So I'm gonna once I'm on the other side.
Does Carbuckety have message? You might, yeah.
Trish does.
Yeah, I don't have a spell message. I can communicate telepathically within 30 feet.
Okay, yeah. So you can probably send back as clear a message as you want. You don't even need to do like a shorthand. Yeah. You can tell them exactly what happened.
Yeah, easy to get past. Just come on up.
All right. Yeah. I can relay this to the rest of the team.
Okay.
Say, yeah, but she was invisible. I don't know if it's going to be as easy for the rest of us.
Yimpitor starts going. Yimpitor does not want to be. There's fire, and Yimpitor is just, let's go.
Okay. Yimpitor pushes through. Originally, you walk through that door, and Nemia cracks a little smile as he sees you. Oh, the short one. Did you get it?
Short one. You're the tall one. I don't have it.
You don't. Okay. As I guess, are you each coming through?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, we can see that there's not an immediate violent reaction. So Gemlin chooses that over fire.
Okay. Yeah. You walk through and. Did any of you get it?
So this is really not my job. So I am going to sleight of hand slip it into Trish's hand. Let her deal with it.
So, meanwhile, I'm trying to tell him, Charity had it and she's stuck back there.
Yeah. You don't know. Yeah.
And that was a nat 20 on my sleight of hand to slip it to her.
Yeah, and you, I mean, you would have advantage too, right? Because you're quite invisible.
8, so, yeah, it's a 28.
Okay. Triss, you feel the heft of the scroll kind of hit your backpack. At this point, Nemia is asking you as well as you come through. Do you have it? Did you get it?
Oh, you're such a nice young man. Were we to get lunch today? I think I've forgotten why we're here. I get so addled sometimes.
Nemia will grab you by the shoulder and say,
"Oh, ow, my arthritis."
So like, that won't work on me. I've seen too much. Do you have it? We had a deal.
Thought it went the other way.
I really do want to try to convince him that Charity got left behind and she had the goods.
All right, yeah.
I'll roll a deception to.
Okay, yeah. Carbuckety comes up and rolls deception.
So 15, 16.
16.
Deception.
Nemia will pause and say, well, I'm sorry that you lost one of your members, but did they give it to you before they passed? You were sent down there for one thing. Where is it?
The scroll. Charity had it. There's a fire. It's stuck in the fire with Charity. You can probably still get it.
So Charity is over there, and she's like trying to put this together. She's like, wait, does this mean I have to go into hiding after this because I'm supposedly dead? And we were paid to do this job. So she does not understand why we're not handing over the goods we were paid to do. So that's what's going through her mind right now. Just
meanwhile, Yempator is sort of walking away from all this and yelling, "Hey, Spider! There's a fire downstairs!" In his loud, get the librarian voice.
Yeah, the page's head emerges and looks at you. I think like an all eight legs come out.
Just so you know, there's a fire downstairs.
The page will like look around, and you'll all hear a message inside of your head at the same time. It says, "What happens down there is of no concern to up here."
Okay.
I did my part.
Yeah.
I reported the fire in the library.
Mm-hmm. Nemia is still shouting at you. Does one of you have it? And you see his eyes.
How is Paige dealing with Nemia shouting? That's what I'm curious about.
Yeah, the page is like trying to like shush what's happening. Getting like visually like agitated at this point. Nemia is also quite mad, demanding all of you tell him where it is. I think someone mentioned scroll. I think like Nemia says it was a scroll. Where's the scroll?
I told you. I told you. Charity had it. She picked it up off the desk with your master. Do you see Charity here? She's not here. She's down there.
Nemia will like roughly grab you, Carbuckety, and like shove you against the wall and say like, "I think you have it. Turn out your pockets."
Hey,
Yempator gets upset at this. Like, "Hey, hands off!"
All right. This is getting a little excessive. My invisible half work. I don't mind beating up on these three little ones, but I don't like other people beating up on these three little ones.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna take my super fancy new dagger, and I just want to cut his throat.
Oh, the brand new one?
Yeah. He's busy banging my friend up against the wall. I'm invisible. I just want to come up and slit his throat with my fancy dagger.
Okay. All right. You pull it and your hand does that same sort of like movement.
Super
like
awesome.
That.
Totally.
Go ahead and roll to attack.
No, I whiff.
You have advantage?
Do I have advantage for being invisible? Yeah.
Yes, you do.
So that's not great. 20. Oh, I guess it is great.
Oh, you rolled a 20 or are you 20 total?
No, dirty 20.
Okay, dirty 20. Go ahead and roll a d8.
7 points of slashing damage.
Okay. You slash at Nemia's throat, and you see like a slash happen, and then a second later another slash happens. Nemia takes 14 points of damage. You feel like, and then as you move it out, you see that like that after image isn't happening again. Like this might take a short rest to recharge. We are back in combat though. At this point, in the hallway, and I need to roll for the page who's mad. This is a library. All right, and you are all in this hallway at this point. This might be a quick.
What size
quick
is Nemia?
What was that?
Is Nemia human?
Yeah, Nemia is a human.
Okay.
We are going to start with, we'll go back to the top of the order. Let's see, Gemlin. We'll consider that was Charity's surprise round on this. We'll come back around to Gemlin.
Well, Gemlin didn't think that it was going to go this way. So but he does have a dagger, and he figures may as well stick with this party. So he's just gonna stab with that dagger.
Okay.
12.
That'll hit, and you have sneak attack on this because everybody's there.
So that gets me what now?
So roll your damage, and then you'll roll an additional, just
right.
1d6, or is it 2d6 at this point? Yeah, 2d6.
For the
so the dagger is
a 4, so that's just a 1.
Okay.
And then
roll 2d6.
2d6. Where are you there? That's 7.
Okay. You stab Nemia in the back a couple times, and he starts to slump over a little bit. It says, "Treachery." Charity. Charity, you're back up.
Yeah, so still invisible. So I've got the dagger in one hand, so I'm not going to waste an action to stow it and get something else. But I will draw one of my short swords.
Okay.
And I think I'm going to, so I'm going to grab one. So I will, my primary attack is my good hand, it's the dagger. So I'll go ahead and do that. That's not good. 14.
Yeah, that'll hit.
All right, so I will take sneak attack on that one. So it's so that's not bad. 16 points of slashing damage.
Yeah. Nemia collapses at this point. It is completely unconscious, losing blood. Blood is pouring out. The page at this point has fully materialized inside of this narrow area where it cannot be because it is too large for this space. I think the outside edges of it are still in these portals kind of around and everything, and you hear this thunderous voice inside of your head. Leave now or face the consequences.
And I do speak up. Can we give him that thing?
Carbuckety will be happy to leave.
Yeah. Carbuckety starts to edge around the page. But Charity, you said, I think as you say that, what thing?
Never mind.
Carbuckety, as you're sneaking past, you feel a leg kind of over your shoulder coming through a portal, and inside your head is, are you taking books?
Oh, right. Almost forgot. I put it in my satchel for safekeeping, and I will attempt to pull out one of my blank notebooks that I brought in with me while casting minor illusion on it to make it look like the library.
Okay.
Set it down on the hallway floor. And sorry about that.
All right. Let's see. It will. You will see it grab it, and that hand will blink out of existence, and you hear it's shoving it into the shelves above you, and it comes back down. Thank you. About this thing. You said there was a thing.
Do you mean the scroll?
The scroll?
Several of us collectively slap our forehead.
Is Charity still invisible?
Oh yeah, and I'm actually I'm moving into that main space, and I am pickpocketing every single patron there from my invisible self.
Okay.
Well, so Yentor, it's I think the half-orc took it, and she's long gone. To the page.
Yeah, I think the page will think for a moment. Half-orc. Where did the half-orc? Is a half-orc still down there?
Last I saw her, she was still down there. So.
Okay.
But
Roll a
she's-
deception
bit of-
check.
Well, does
Well,
Carbuncle?
it's not really deception. It is the
It's
last
not
you saw.
deception.
It's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
The intent is deception.
Okay. Roll performance.
That was a 15.
Okay. Yeah. She will. The page will believe you at that point. I think the page at this point is just going to say like, leave, take the body with you. Just get out. You're banned.
Well, I can't lift him. Can either of you?
No, Gimlin cannot do that.
I mean, you can. Like,
Yeah.
it would take a little doing, but
Imstor can start dragging like half of him over his shoulder.
Just grab a leg and
Yeah.
Before we start that, Gimlin just asks the page. There says, you want us to be out as quickly as we do. Can you just open us up a portal outside and we can shove this thing through so we don't have to disturb your patrons in the library?
gladly. And it'll open a portal and like start to actively shove you. Are you all going to go with, or are you going to?
We'll willingly go, I think.
yes.
Okay. Yeah, I think you were shoved in this portal and you were back outside the front door that you had just entered. The scroll heavy in your pouch. I think Charity jaunts out shortly thereafter and rematerializes. She is 10 gold pieces richer. Gemia's body is like just laid out sort of next to you. The town watch comes by and takes one look at Nami and says, "It's about time." begins to haul him away. Yes, and you have survived the accidental tomb.
Woo! Can I cast Identify on the scroll and see what
Yeah.
do?
Yes, you can.
Yeah. What is this thing that we fought so hard for?
Yeah, this scroll is it just says at the top of it, I guess, as you're unfurling it, the Journal of Tal Rasha. And inside you see, I think what you can recognize, Tris, as you're looking at this, is there's all sorts of like magical like spells and incantations written across this thing, stuff that is far beyond what you are capable of doing. Much of it related to time.
Well, that's
Time.
pretty cool. I'm
Yeah.
gonna roll it back up and put it in my pack.
Yes. Yeah, this is the sort of thing that if you have it, the people that know you have it are going to want it very, very badly. Much as Nemia did and much as the poor soul down below did too.
I will keep it rather quiet.
Yes. All right. Well, thank you all for playing. I really appreciate it. This was super fun. I hope you all had fun too. But yeah, I'm just going to sign off for all of us because this has been going a little bit. But yeah, I've been Chris Salzman. Thank you for listening to Roll for Topic. Remember, you're a good GM if your players are having fun.